My name is Kubby Kubbernus. My friends call me Kubby. I'm Canadian. Sorry, no, that's a good thing actually. I'm Canadian, but I live in Denmark, Copenhagen. I run my own digital agency there. We're about 2 years old. We've got some great brands working with us. And I'm here to talk to you guys about the golden age of marketing, which I think we're in right now, and I think that's super exciting. How many here work for a brand? Okay. How many here work for an agency? Okay, quite a bit. How many just walked off the street and said hey, I'll do this today? That joke still works. Awesome. Okay, so here's what I think we all think our marketing is like. We think it's a party, it's awesome, it's off the hook, we're doing great stuff. In actuality, our marketing is more like this. Which I don't think is actually good enough. I think we can be doing much, much better because I do believe that we're living in one of the best eras ever for marketers, for you people here. And I want to kick your guys' ass a little bit because I think you guys need a little bit of a kick in the ass. Because I work with brands, I work with businesses all the time, and I see what they're doing. Some are doing some great things, they're trying hard, but it's just not good enough. That's an awesome gif, right? Oh, God, that's gotta hurt. So anyway, the reason why I think we're living in the best time of our lives for marketers is because of this number here. Can anybody guess? I mean, there's been a lot of numbers thrown at you guys today, some conflicting, some mean different things, but essentially I go off this number. I made it up, but hell. What do you guys think this means? What is 70%? Anybody? Come on, brave souls. Fortune favors the brave. What does 70% equal? What is this? What am I talking about here? People that like marketing. I don't think so. That'd be nice. No, 70% of the purchase decision is made before a person even hits the store. Do you believe this? I believe it. Nobody? You don't believe it. I believe this is true. I believe that we can also see it from our own purchase behavior. Who here has walked into a store recently and not known really what they want, other than groceries? Most of us walk into the store now, know what we want, go take a look at it, and then go home and buy it on Amazon. That's what we do because it's a better price. And so I really think that this is a golden opportunity for us as marketers. We've gone from a sales-based business to Don Draper. We've gone to much, much more marketing. Marketing is much more important these days than it has ever been. A good example of this is just how many channels we have to use to reach our customers. And this is not even everything. The last presenter was talking a lot about the new platforms that are coming up that we have to be worried about. I'm more worried about the shit that we just don't even do well on already. It's nice to look at the other stuff, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But I think it's really important that we understand what is actually going on here. We have more channels to reach everybody than we've ever had. This is a nice illustration from Gartner showing all the different digital and marketing tools, both online and offline, that we can use to sort of reach our customers. We have analytics, we have data, we have strategy, we have social analytics, social listening, web content management, web analytics, SEM, display, SEO tools, digital asset management, mobile messaging, AI. We have all these golden opportunities, and we're not taking control. Marketers, we still I think we still think we're in the basement, all the marketing department, they're coloring some coloring books back there, leave them alone. When we're actually the ones driving most of the business these days. Does anybody feel that way? I know I do. You might feel a little bit overwhelmed though. Some days I do feel like this, I gotta say. Because we're not even just getting started here, right? This is what's coming next. Very nice. How many think they're going to kill it in VR? It's here. One person. One person thinks they're going to kill it in VR. An entire room full of awesome marketers. This scares the shit out of me. Because the reality is that we can reach millions of people today for a fraction of the cost of what it used to. Back in the day, you either had to do like direct mail, or you were doing, spending a ton of money on TV ads, on print ads, creatives, giant photo shoots, giant video shoots. Had to hire Steven Spielberg to cut your shit. Apple hired Ridley Scott to do their 1984 ad. When you can go to the local media school and hire some kid who's going to cut something amazing for you for nothing. That's the sort of world we live in. We can reach millions of people for a fraction of the cost. This is super exciting. This jazzes me up. This says, okay, I've got a lot more power as a marketer than I ever had. I don't have to rely on TV. I don't really have to rely on print ads. I don't have to rely on anybody. I can create the content. I can make it. I can distribute it. I can touch my customers directly. I own the data. There's never been a time like this. And marketers actually have been responsible for much of the innovation in companies, right? With mobile apps, AI coming in, the online space. I remember working for a brand like, much of you guys years ago, and they were asking us, what are the trends in for their product development? Because we've kind of merged a lot of things together in this online world, and marketers are on the cusp of it. Do you still feel overwhelmed? I hope not. I hope by the end of this presentation, you guys actually don't feel like this, but you feel more like this. Does anybody feel like this now? What? Always, I like this. Whatever you're smoking, just bring it over to me. So I want you guys to feel like this because this is an amazing time for us. So I'm going to give you guys Kubby's quick wins for anybody that thinks they're behind a little bit, things that they can do to catch up in this marketing game. And it's a little like, there's a lot of things in here that actually were talked about in the previous presentation, which is kind of nice. So maybe I don't have to actually talk. I just say, see that other presentation. No. So I believe today marketing is a little like the stock market. And if you think about it like the stock market, then you do things in a certain way. How do you play the stock market? Don't all shout it at once. What? Buy low. Are you guys awake? Buy low, sell high. Right? This is marketing in a nutshell. Because with all these channels that come out, all these different opportunities, the early ones are really low to buy in. Right? Before, could you imagine if you did YouTube, if you started YouTube 10 years ago as a brand? Think about where you'd be today. If you started Instagram, if you started, doing stuff on Snapchat, if you started, and then, a lot of, CMOs and board, and we're like, why are you guys on this? Like, our customers aren't here. They will be. This is the way it goes. I'm surprised nobody sees history repeating itself all the time. They roll their eyes, and then they put their daughters in front of the TV and say, watch Kim Kardashian. But that's the way it is. I see a lot of marketers that roll their eyes at trends. Oh, why would we be on Snapchat? Now Snapchat's gone downhill a lot, or why would we be on Instagram? Why would we be on YouTube? Why would we use influencer marketing? That's for kids. That's silly. And then a company comes along and does $500 million in 18 months, and they go, we got to do something with influencer marketing. Yeah, well, I told you that 2 years ago. So we have to be better at coming out of the basement as marketers and say, look, this is serious shit. Look at this. This is important. And fight. for those things. I feel like a lot of times we don't fight for it. We sort of like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right, it doesn't fit into strategy, but I mean, nobody understands that fucking strategy anyway. I mean, like, it's a PowerPoint in someone's desk, basically, that McKinsey made for you. They're great at execution. So I really think, like, as marketers, we got to stand our ground. We got to be much tougher in this fight because we have a lot to offer here. One of those ways is you can see what's trending on the App Store and in Google Trends. This has been really great for understanding what is actually coming up. What are the kids into? Has anybody used the App Store? Of course. Anybody go to the sort of what's trending? You could see what apps are coming up. This is important. This is like actually a cultural barometer to see like what is actually going on. Like what tools, what apps, what features, what even art design, what things are actually coming up, what photo filters. It's become what stores, what products. It's actually become a really great barometer to get an idea of what's going on in the culture. Look at the kids. Don't roll your eyes at your daughter that wants to buy Kylie Jenner makeup, or your son that's into hoverboards, which aren't popular anymore, but I mean, when they're looking at, the latest music trends or fashion trends or influencers or apps or things like that, be curious. Be extremely curious. Do not roll your eyes. Look at what they're looking at. Look at what they're seeing, and I guarantee you're going to see that in 24 months be on everybody's lips. And brands saying, fuck, we got to get into that app. We got to do something with this app. We got to do something here. The kids are key to this. They're a gateway to finding out what's working in the culture. It's incredible. One of the great ways that you can get into these things without really getting into it is pay influencers. Pay people who already understand those platforms, understand those media. Like the guy who built the 40 million. I'm sorry, I forget his name. He obviously understood media. He understood what was going on. Tap into those people, and you don't even have to do any work. You could just say, okay, we're going to pay somebody to Instagram, use our products. We're going to pay somebody to do Snapchat. We don't have to have a really clear strategy. We don't have to have a ton of budget. Like I said, buy low, sell high. We need to experiment. We need to get in there early and find out what's going on. And we can use others to do that. Another quick way to win is tap into the zeitgeist. Does everyone know this word? I was in Germany and said, hey, do you guys know this word? And they're like, yeah, we fucking invented it. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So tap into the zeitgeist. Tap into the moment of the day, because what's interesting about doing campaigns and doing marketing today is it's very it is like almost like day trading on the stock market. You can really tap into something quickly and really turn a sort of a fire on in some ways. Like, for example, this from Norwegian Air, which I flew this morning, which I like a lot. Do you guys remember this ad? Yeah, some people do. It went viral pretty fast. So this is when Brad and Angelina broke up. Who wanted to buy a ticket? I'm married, but it's Brad fucking Pitt. I mean, like, everybody's got a shot, right? No. He's got too many kids for me. So this is great and it was a print ad. But it went viral for them because they tapped into the zeitgeist. You have to be very, very reactive and very quick. Oreo did it a few years ago at the Super Bowl. When the lights went out at the Super Bowl, everyone pulled up their phones and started looking at social media. And here was this ad from Oreo, you could still dunk in the dark. Right? It was very targeted, but it was brilliant. And you have to be able to do these things very fast and get into the culture. Another quick win here. Well, maybe not so quick, but video is key. We're finding this almost across the board. No matter what we're looking at, video is key because video is where people are spending their time. The stat here from BI Intelligence is that video will represent 82% of all IP traffic by 2021. We're watching a lot of video. How many binge watch stuff? How many watch YouTube? How many see video on Facebook? How many see video on LinkedIn? We're constantly in this thing. I read a stat actually that people touch their iPhones more than their kids. I was like, yeah, that's probably right. It's sad for the kids, but I mean, what if the kid had an iPhone and then I don't know. Anyway, that's another stat. But video is really important. Another way you can tap into this is you have to stop the scroll. There's too much content. There's too many cat videos. I'm going to come over here. Actually, I've been over there a lot. I'm going to come over here. You have to stop the scroll. You have to be bold. You have to think about the user behavior of everybody on this thing. Just scrolling away. Scrolling away. In order to do this, you have to be bold. You have to use movement. You have to use compelling copy. You have to tap into the zeitgeist. You have to be mobile. This is how I Tinder. It works well. Speaking of which, any brands here on Tinder? No. I thought about this today. You guys can steal it. I just thought, like, what if you could have your brand on there, and you could swipe, and then you could actually talk to somebody and get the shoe? Like, you could actually put the shoe up or the whatever, Colgate, or I don't know, whatever you're selling. And then people are like, oh, I actually would like that shoe. And then you can buy. Yeah, where was I? Everybody's here. So when you're designing things, you really have to think about this screen. I mean, designers are sitting here with a giant screen, and they're designing stuff and making things look great. And I'm like, great, nobody can fucking read it on this thing. Like, literally, I've had so many beefs with different designers I'm like, but it's going to show up here. You understand that, right? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I guess I can't read it. It's crucial that you understand that this is where we are today. So when you're designing pictures, when you're doing any kind of marketing campaign, does it work here? Is the main barometer. Does it work here? Or benchmark, I should say, not barometer. Now I'll come over here. What's the best side? Is this the best side? Oh, that's the best side, guys. This girl's trying to get her best side. This is the people. This is your consumer. This is awesome. I love this. That's how people, that's how they're living their lives now. So it's got to work on mobile, and it's got to tap into this, whatever this is. Video can be a centerpiece of your marketing. We're just seeing this prove itself over and over again when we talk to our customers, when we're doing campaigns for them. It can be such a cool part because what you can do from video is you can expand it, right? You can go from doing stuff like for YouTube or then saying, okay, we're also going to make that work for Facebook. We're going to make it work for Instagram. We're going to use it for internal. How many people have, internals videos have exploded, massively? It's actually a core issue that you'll see is that now that we're going to video, we're going to need AI tools to actually digest what's in the video because internal intranets, you were able to search and it was contextual or textual. We don't have that anymore with video. People are going to be just sitting there watching 20 minutes of video before they find out, where do I get the password for the Wi-Fi? So it's exploding right now. And so you can take a video and you can say, okay, we're going to transcript it for the blog. We're going to use it for Snapchat. We're going to take the audio and use it for our podcast. We're going to put the video into LinkedIn. We're going to make GIFs out of it. It can become a core part of your marketing. And I think you guys should be, how many people are like, would say they're doing very well in video for their brands? A couple people, that's good. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. That's awesome. Maybe I'll actually, speaking of video, can you guys make a nice video for me here? Can you guys act like I entertained you and that I was nice and insightful? Can you guys do that for me? You guys ready? Okay, here we go. Whoop it up! Yes! Oh, it didn't record. Fuck. Do it again! Thanks. It really didn't record the first time. I don't know how to use this thing. So, video can be a cornerstone, and I really think that you need to take this. I call it actually the spoker strategy, which is hub and spoke mixed with poker, meaning that when you create content, you actually have it's like, anybody here play poker? You get a bunch of hands when you play poker. Some are like dog shit. You want to throw them away. They're not going to win for you, right? So content is a little like that. You get a lot of different hands. You produce a lot of different content, and then you see, oh, here's a winning hand. Then we milk that, do as much as we can with it, and we bet heavy into it, meaning that we put money behind it. We put media spend. We put dollars. That's the spoker strategy. You can hub spoke plus poker. You guys can take that and use that. The other thing you guys can do to really get into the marketing game here and really beef it up is think like Hollywood. And what do I mean by that? This is what Hollywood does. And ad 6 and 7 and 8 and 9. They have a core concept that really fucking works, and they milk it. And they milk it. As marketers, I feel like we jump onto the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, without looking at what actually is working and saying, no, we just do that again. That was awesome. That brought in sales. That brought in traffic. That brought in leads. That brought in whatever. Let's do that again. And keep remixing and bringing it up again. The thing is that maybe I got to stop this in order to get my point across. Failure is the price we pay for success, specifically in marketing. Let me say that again. Failure is the price of admission for success. There's a lot of scaredy cats in this room. I've been there too. Like, oh, should I do this? Yeah, I don't know. There's very little consequences. Donald Trump is an example of that. Right? There's very little consequences nowadays. And I think that as marketers, we need to adapt to that world and say, you know what, we're going to jump. We're going to make the leap. Yes, we might fail. Yes, we might end up like crazy cat here. But at least we're going to try, and we're going to get up and do it again, and do it again, and do it again until we find the stuff that works really well. And not be afraid of Snapchat, not be afraid of Instagram, not be afraid of influencer marketing, not be afraid of going into YouTube, not be afraid of taking on those challenges early. AI is an example, or VR, AR, all of those things are available to you today. What is stopping you? How many people feel like they're under-resourced? Everybody. Welcome to the club. We have to find a way, though. We have to be resourceful. Use people, not like use people, but use people. Use students, use interns, use people that are hungry for this. Get hungry yourselves. Stop watching Netflix. Stop watching Netflix and instead work on marketing at night. So your party can be like this. That's all from me, guys. Thank you so much.